Hi everyone, today we will go over sending and capturing requests using Postman. As a REST client for testing APIs, this is one of the most important functions of the product. Here in the interface, you have the left sidebar that displays the requests you have made in the past with history. You also see collections, but we will go over those in a separate video. On the right, you have the request builder here. Using this builder, you can create almost any type of API requests. Now in this drop down here, you see the different methods you can use for the request. You can change the method at any time by using this drop down. So this became copy, back to get, super straightforward. This bar here is the URL. This is where you will enter the API endpoint you want to target. To append the parameters necessary, you can do so by clicking params. Here you see I have a start and end parameter. Let's make this what I want. I want to get data from this API for a time range. I'm going to look at September. These parameters are not URI encoded. To do so, just right-click on the text that you want to URI encode, right-click, encode, and all is good. For this specific request, I need to use my API key in the basic auth for authorization. So I go here, click basic auth, enter in my credentials, update request. Now you'll see that the authorization is saved as a header. I hit send, but I get unauthorized. Why? Because Postman operates in the sandbox environment outside of Chrome, it can't actually work with all headers, and it also has trouble sending cookies. There's a simple way to solve this, which is by getting the Postman Interceptor extension. So you go to the Chrome Web Store, and you get Postman Interceptor. As you can see, I already have it installed. It looks like this traffic light icon here. And then you go back to Postman, and you click here and enable Interceptor. At this point, we send the request, and bam, we get the information we need. Another thing to note here is header presets. If you use a set of headers together frequently enough, you can create a preset, so it's easier for you in the future. I go to Manage Presets, hit Add. I create a walk-up preset. Submit, and now I have a preset that I can use in the future. Now let's look at requests that have bodies. There are 4 ways to send something in the body. One of the most common ones is raw. This is where Postman will not touch anything inside the text field other than any environmental variables that might be present. These are covered in their own separate video. Now when you use raw, you should set the content type header. In this case, it is application/JSON. Usually it'll be either JSON or XML. The other type of sending information is through form data. Sending form data is very similar to filling out a form on a web page. As you see here, it's in a key-value pair setup where there's a key and then there's a value. You can send files as well as other information. In case of files, because of a limitation in the HTML spec, you can't save them in Postman. Once you send the request and then let's say you send it again, you will need to re-upload the file. The next type is URL encoded. This is very similar to form data, but you can't send files. You need to check with your API whether they prefer form data or URL encoded. In general, I see OAuth 2.0 tokens to be URL encoded requests. The final type is binary, which is used to send files only. Just like the case with form data, the files will not be saved and need to be re-uploaded next time you send the same request. So that's how you can send requests in Postman. One parting note I have is about capturing requests. The Interceptor can be used to capture requests in the browser. So you would go to your Chrome, and remember this traffic light icon? You would click that, turn on, and then anything you browse, let's say we go to Postman, then we click About Us, then when you go back to your Postman in the history, as you can see, there's About Us, and there's some tracking APIs as well as Postman. So that's one good way to capture requests in real time in the browser. For mobile requests, you can use the Postman proxy, which is set up this way. More information about these is available in our documentation. And if you can't find what you're looking for, please file a GitHub issue with us. Thank you for listening.